Hello, welcome one and all to Unicorn Light Tarot. If this is your first time here, we're going to get this all pretty for you. If this is your first time at Unicorn Light Tarot, welcome. If you are returning, either a newer or an older subscriber, welcome one and all. I sincerely hope everybody is having or has had, at the very least, an interesting day, a beautiful day at best. I do want to remind everybody that the Unicorn School of Light we have this beautiful new course coming up, a 5-day video course, Intuition and the Oracle. It will be available this Friday. It is only $22. It's absolutely amazing. Working with your intuition, obviously balancing masculine and feminine aspects of self. Once you are in pure alignment, you can of course use that for the laws of attraction, bringing in money and love. So everything that you will learn in that course can be applied to your life at large, and of course reading the Oracle, because that's why we're here. That will be available this Friday. There's also a couple of other courses going on in the Unicorn School of Light that are very exciting. One of them is Beyond Fear, and it is a free course, so I urge you to take it if you feel called to take it. Always check in with your intuition first. All right, today I thought we would live large and do a past lives reading. So it's past lives. Who were you? Who will you become? As we all know, we are influenced by karma and past lives. Karma is the messages and the layering of past lives. And I know that a lot of people are going through some stuff right now. These are always, for the most part, unless they're specific for new moon and full moon, timeless messages. So whenever you find this message, it should resonate and apply. But right now in the world, I know a lot of people are feeling this sludge coming up, so we can move into this new version of world. And there's a lot of work to be done, of course, and there's a lot of personal and interpersonal work. So I thought what we could do is we could dig deep into the past lives and get you some real answers about who you were and what's come over into this lifetime, and how that affects you and how you can work with it. As always with Unicorn Light Tarot, we're looking at practical ways to give you as much advice as possible so you can have the best life that you possibly can. Not that you're not living it already, of course you are, but there's always room for improvement, right? So that's what we're going to do. And we have 3 piles as always. Our first pile is with the red feather, then we have the blue feather, and then we have the yellow feather with the little red in there. And as always, I have dressed the candle. If you've been with me before, then you know that this is a healing session too. So you can either, these candles are dressed with healing oil that I made under the full moon many moons ago now. So you can either release what no longer works for you, or you can go ahead and pull in abundance and healing for you, whatever it is that you want, however you want to use the candle. And here, of course, I've just introduced this, and I think this is really fun. You guys are letting me know in the comments, and I really love it. Just some extra stuff here. Sometimes we can spell out words. And there's initials in there. This is more sort of a personal thing. I go through see what I can see, but it's really for you to see if there's anything personal for you for the reading that'll help you resonate and connect fully, even more fully with the readings. So we will do that after every single pile here. So as always, take as much time as you need to align your energy. The calmer you are, the more in touch you are with your intuition, and the more aligned you are, the more these card readings will resonate, even though they're general readings. And we do our very best to see if we can make these general readings, oh no, Kitty's drunk today, and these readings a little bit more personal for you. So do whatever you need to do. Take as much time as you need, because as always, the timestamps will be down below. So let's get right into your past lives and see who you were. I'm going to put this aside for now. So if you picked pile 1, remember we have the healing candle. Please use that any way you want. This is your red feather. So I just have 2 tarot cards here. And the first thing that we're going to do is, so these are your past lives, and we're finding out who were you and who will you become in this lifetime. So let's go ahead and see your past lives. Okay, so the Knight of Swords is your first card. and the Four of Cups. So the first question we're going to ask is, who were you? So we're going to give you an idea of who you were. So the first thing that I can see, pile one, is this sort of, the first sort of vision that I'm getting is this holder of truth, holder of wisdom. Somebody who, and you know, we can come in with different past lives. We're really working with the past life that is resonating with this life right now, and that's the information that we're trying to give you. So yeah, this is the one thing that I'm getting is somebody who held a lot of truth, somebody who held a lot of wisdom, somebody who who certainly got, when I say up the ranks, I'm not necessarily feeling an army necessarily, but working on a particular side of bringing truth to a nation or to the people, something like that. The energy is very strong that you had a lot of wisdom and you had a certain amount of, let's say, you had a certain amount of power, but you certainly, well, you didn't certainly, but you did not enlist that power. You didn't get to see that power play out the way in which that you wanted. The other thing that I'm getting very strongly for you, pile one, you always feel a little bit crazy when you tell people about their past lives, you know, because it feels a little bit woo-woo. And even though I'm a tarot reader and I do a lot of healing stuff, yeah, I don't consider myself at all woo-woo. But I promise you these are the messages that I'm getting, and they are very strong. So bear with me here. So yeah, there's the Knight of Swords, definitely somebody who had wisdom, but wanted to see that wisdom come to fruition, and something would have happened where you didn't get to see it in that lifetime. Now, the one thing that I'm getting very, very strongly too, is that in order to be who you were in that lifetime, there wasn't a lot of sort of, letting go. There wasn't a lot of emotionality involved or allowed. There was always moving on. It was very sort of fast-paced life, action-based life. There wasn't a lot of contemplation necessarily. And the wisdom in which you picked up on, like a lot of people would have been like scholars, and I see in many of your past lives you were scholars. You absolutely sort of the hermit, kind of living in a cave, and a lot of that wisdom that you have right now really came in from those past lives. But this past life is coming up specifically, and I'll tell you why. This life was a life where you had a lot of action, and a lot of the wisdom that you brought in, you were able to sweep. I keep saying sweeping the land and bringing the truth to the people. Now, I don't know what the truth is. I'm hearing like alchemy, a lot of alchemist sort of stuff. Which of course was very popular. And we still use alchemy to this day, but not quite the same way as the original alchemists, of course, like turning matter into gold. But you still have an essence of the alchemy. But there wasn't a lot of time for emotionality, or in this lifetime, really spending time integrating emotionality. Now, let's be clear, you've had many, many lifetimes where you've studied a lot, and this was a lifetime where you out and you had a lot of action. But even when you studied a lot, there wasn't a lot of emotionality. And in this lifetime, you should probably see it a reflection of the very, very grounded, pragmatic sense of self. Not a lot of woo-woo stuff going on. I can definitely lend to that too. I definitely have that. But there's an essence of yourself that's really, you have an ethereal essence to self that you've also had in past lives. And a lot of that is to be integrated into this lifetime. So this lifetime is really about bringing your wisdom in and integrating fully the divine feminine and the emotionality to bring in that true power, and to finish off the wisdom that you brought in. Now, there's a lot of different wisdom that you've come in from many different lives. So that is what you are integrating in this lifetime. And there's also a little bit of a fear of being seen, because there are many lifetimes where you're way beyond your lifetime. You're way beyond the people and the thought processes, but beyond the time. And that's why a lot of the times you hid yourself. and when you were the scholar, you hid yourself and you learned in private, and you probably had people that worked with you, but it was almost a secret society. So there's an essence of yourself that's rather secretive in this lifetime, and that's totally fine. There's a mysterious aspect to you that people find very intriguing. And this has come in from past lives. And even with this lifetime where it's all action, yes, you were out there, but you were also the messenger. So you moved on very quickly. And the message that you were bringing, that's the reason why you moved on. You were definitely even a trendsetter and like a trailblazer back then. So that's why the message was delivered quickly, and then you moved on. It's not that you were necessarily in fear for your life. There was a very masculine sense of energy back in the lifetime that we're talking about. So it's not arrogance, but you knew what you were doing. You knew the risks, you took them on. There was an intense sense of bravery there. And not that there wasn't bravery in the other lifetimes at all when you were secretly hiding away. In that time frame, it was really important for you to hide away, because this is, the esoteric information that we now have because of your past lives and other past lives that others have had. And they had to go, sort of underground in order to be able to give us these esoteric teachings, which of course we're now coming full throttle, 180, we're now coming back into. But this is for you to come back into your emotionality and work with the essence of magic a little bit differently. Many of your past lives were scholarly. They were definitely masculine driven lives, not necessarily talking about gender, but you probably were masculine in many different lives. And it would be very interesting for you if you were a female gender and listening to this and this was resonating with you, if you had real sense of the masculine within you in this lifetime, because you've had so many masculine lives. And so the emotionality for you could feel a little bit different. Again, these were always general readings, but if you are specifically somebody who thinks of themselves as a woman and not gender fluid, either way, whatever you think, it's all good here at Unicorn Light Tarot. But if you do consider yourself a woman, but at the same time didn't necessarily feel always divine, this understanding of the feminine or the complete divine feminine, or you had to sort of really seek out the divine feminine in you and have to bring it out. And it came out at certain times. You weren't always, so feminine. And this could be the reason why. But in this lifetime, if you did come in feminine, regardless of the gender that you are, this is your lifetime for accepting and integrating the divine feminine. Now, I know a lot of people say, oh, this is your last life. Da, da, da. We're not going to do that, because there's many different teachings of when we keep coming back and we keep coming back. But I can tell you this is this is an extremely important lifetime for you, Pal 1, and I'll tell you why. Very simply, you have come in to finish the work that you wanted to see, where people actually come in to their own sense of justice and truth, and for darkness to be sort of revealed, and which is what's going on right now. You're also extremely good at working within chaos. Now, you may not think that you are, but bear with me. The fact that you actually come out of all of the situations that you've come out of now, we're talking about this lifetime now, and you've been through a lot of drama, a lot of people have brought drama to you, there's a lot of darkness that you've been through. So the alchemist part of you is able to work in chaos extremely well. Now, you may not feel as though you're the best sort of chaos not maker. You're not a chaos maker. You're a peaceful type person. You haven't bought in, you've attracted a lot of chaos in your life. That's neither here nor there, because you're moving out of that. But you've always been around it, but you're always able to keep this really calm sense of self. Even when you're not calm, you're incredibly more calm than anybody else would be under those circumstances. So your beauty in this lifetime is learning to deal with the chaos and turning that into alchemy, turning that into pure healing. You actually work better when there's like 15 different things going on and you're kind of tearing your hair out, but you work really well under those circumstances. Some people literally crumble and fall apart. Now, let's be clear. We're not suggesting that you keep doing that and running yourself down into the ground. This is really about, in this lifetime, bringing in a profound sense of balance between the masculine and feminine, a profound sense of wisdom from the past lives and knowing how to interject that wisdom into the world without fearing for your life. Again, you worked with this very well. I don't want to be dramatic of fearing for your life, but there was a reason why you kept moving to bring this message on. So there might be a little bit of that remnants of being a little bit afraid or having a little bit of trepidation about putting your voice out there. See if you'll have persecution. That's just a little bit of stuff from the past life. Wouldn't worry about it. We can clear that out today, especially with the camera. Isn't that like Freudian slip camera? You're taking a picture, mirror action. Beautiful. So this is what we have for who were you. Definitely a magical being. But bringing sort of like, again, the strength and the wisdom of beauty. And also beyond the times, bringing in beyond the times. Now, I can see that you worked with esoteric wisdom in previous life, and you also worked with Christianity wisdom in previous life. So melding those two together in this lifetime in a really positive, life-affirming way could be really interesting for you. I'm bringing it in a brand new way. I know the Gnostic Gospels do that. There's a lot of other esoteric teaching that bring in the Christianity. But this is something that you would be extremely good at one way or another, and putting your own take on it from your own wisdom, melding all those past lives. But let's move on to what lessons did you carry over? Now, we definitely worked with that just a little bit here, but let's get you some more information. So what lessons did you carry over from your past lives, particularly this one here with the Knight of Swords, into this one? So this is what we're going to... I'm using mainly tarot today because I'm feeling the tarot. So pile 1, what lessons did you carry over specifically into this life from your past life? Let's see what we have here. Ah, the Devil. Okay. I actually like this card. A lot of people are intimidated by it. But yeah, I could see a little bit of that, but I'm glad that came up. All right, so... Okay, and the Four of Pentacles. You had the Four of Cups, and this is reversed. So this is what I see for you. And it's no coincidence that you chose red to passion, fire. So the one thing that I see, what lessons did you carry over? Now, remember we talked about, let's go back to some of your past lives. You were Christian and also esoteric. So the one thing that you found in your past lives is the indoctrination of religion. And this is something that you may have been a part of yourself, but this is something that you obviously know from past lives. Again, you have this beautiful vantage and viewpoint in this lifetime of being on several different sides of this, the esoteric and the religion. Now, there's nothing instinctively wrong with religion, but when there's full of rules and religion is manipulated to control the people, which is something you would have seen in the past life. And again, you may have been somewhat a part of that in one of those lives, but it really doesn't matter because you have so much esoteric wisdom and information. There was, and that those past lives really outride that lifetime that you had. And that lifetime that you had, that you would have at least been in and around the indoctrination of religion and what it can do. That was an interesting and very, very powerful lifetime, and I suspect it's this lifetime too, although I'm being told it's not really important, but to tell you which lifetime, just to know that you did, because you saw the downfall of it. You saw what people did. I feel as though there may have been a slight naivety insofar as that when you came in to the religion aspect of it, it might have been, this is amazing, this is great, and you could have been very, very close with, you know, the sort of Christian icon of God and Jesus, even been a follower. But then you saw what happened afterwards, and the sort of the indoctrination and how it worked for power for some and not for all. And this is something that you came in with a lifetime, in this lifetime, to see what people do with control and power. even with something that's absolutely beautiful and has gorgeous wisdom. Now, we're not here to put down or judge in any way Christianity. I know a lot of Christian folks, especially in my family, and they are the most beautiful people that you'll ever meet. And we also know that there's a difference between the way in which you use it as an indoctrination versus as you use it as a spiritual tool. This in your soul, you know intrinsically, you know the difference. You've seen both sides. So for this lifetime, you might get very passionate also about, in this lifetime, about how to be out there, how to use your voice in a spiritual way. But you're very, very clear about people coming in and using their wisdom to manipulate. This is something that you intrinsically, you would be excellent at. You know, you'd be able to viewpoint somebody and say, all right, I like what they're doing, but, you know, there's something about this that isn't right. You know, you're definitely not the sort of person that's going to get caught up in a cult anytime soon. And with all the conspiracy theories that are going on right now, which are really interesting to watch objectively, to see a lot of the spiritual community, and again, no judgment, but a lot of the spiritual community, you know, shaming people and all sorts of different things are coming out. And I've seen some incredible behavior across the spiritual community right now. And just seeing how that power comes in and how things can get a little bit confused. Now, I'm holding light and hope for everybody because I just think this is a dark corner right now. We're moving through the chaos. So as that's happening, I'm hoping that the light will shine back and they'll be able to see, you know, and come back to the light. But right now, there's a lot of different things going on with conspiracy things that just, that are going off in a very specific direction that isn't in the light. Now, this is something that you have been able to see. This is something that you might actually have been quite sick about recently. And, you know, either you go down the rabbit hole and try and figure it out, or you're staying objective to it and watching it unfold. Now, this is your time. The way in which you're supposed to, what you're supposed to do here is to reveal the darkness within the power or behind the power of religion and even spirituality. Yes, absolutely spirituality. You know, people once their ego gets involved, you know, the power essence, the power struggles come up. And that's where you can get this really verging off into the darkness, but absolutely convinced that they're right, okay? Now, this is something that you know firsthand about. This is something you can identify. This is something that you're seeing now, and this is something you can do something about. Now, for those of you who have been wondering what you're supposed to do in this lifetime, this is kind of a specific part of what you're supposed to do. Now, remember we said at the beginning, for some of you, these are general readings, but for some of you, melding the beautiful Christ consciousness of the Bible, and there are parts of it that do hold that energy, and the wisdom of the alchemist and the esoteric. This is something that you can do, either writing, through art, books, anything that you do, but you can also bring that wisdom to the people without the ego. You've been through it, you've seen it, you're seeing it again. I believe this is just a cycle that we're going through as we're regurgitating the old to release it for good. So I don't think we need to worry about any of these conspiracy theories. I'm certainly not getting involved in them. But again, it's interesting to watch from an objective viewpoint and just see what everybody's going through. But this is something, this is your time. The timing and the timeline of where we are specifically at right now. This is your time to shine. This is why you're here. You have very specific ideals and understanding of how this worked, how it's played out, and more specifically, Power One, how it's not worked in the past, especially for everybody. You know, so you can bring your wisdom, you can make your living and your success from this. This is about you stepping up, being able to expose, and I keep getting the word violence, being able to expose the violence of the old ego type based religion propaganda and bring it back to what it should have been, could have been, right? Because there's a lot of beauty in the Bible. There's a lot of beauty. It's a gorgeous book. I see it more as a history book, which should be respected, but you can do something with all of your wisdom and interject. So the result here, Who are you in this lifetime then? So we've touched on this just a little bit, but let's really get you some more information. So this is very specific, pile one. So this is the result. I don't know if I like that word, the result, but this is your reading here. Who are you in this lifetime? Now that you've melded the old life with the new life, with the wisdom and the clarity of why you're specifically here. And incidentally, the devil card is really interesting for you because you can see through all of that. You can see through all of it. And you're really here to bring that truth. You're really here to see and to show people what true evil is. And true evil is ignorance. True evil is ignorance. It's not the devil, it's ignorance. That's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to show people. As a light worker, and you have a lot of information on this, you've had a lot of past lives, and you'll be integrating all of this wisdom in this lifetime. So who are you in this lifetime? Pile one. You're already doing it. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. I have no doubt that this has been part of you. If this is resonating with you already, then you already have a sense of self. This should be no surprise to you whatsoever. And again, if you're artists or creatives or you're teachers, you've already been working in this field one way or another. But this is definitely your time to shine. A lot of what I've been doing recently with all of these readings, it's like these new beginnings, this brand new beginning of moving into who we are. This is a new timeline for you to skip into and to really max out this beautiful energy that you have and get out there and do whatever you're doing times 1,000. So I don't doubt that you're on your path and you're doing what you're doing. If you're feeling stuck, and we always say, even if this is resonating with you, sometimes we feel as though we're at different points of the reading. If you're feeling stuck and you don't know if you're doing enough, trust me, your time is coming. It's clicking in. Hopefully some of this has resonated with you, and then it's activating you to know that you absolutely know what you're doing. Your time is coming. You've been sowing seeds. You've always known what you've wanted to do. You've been sowing seeds, but the aspect of coming into all different types of your personality, there are a few missing pieces of who you were, and knowing that and coming into your own power. Not big on labels, but it's important to know aspects of who you were so you can integrate that energy of knowing who you were, so you can let go of the labels eventually. I'm all for people saying that they're star seeds. All of that is absolutely wonderful. I believe in light workers and star seeds and all of that stuff. But once you know who you are, if you integrated that, you no longer need the label. So when people take it too far and start saying that, they're a commander of this, that, and the other, and start using that energy to shame other people, that's where it can go off a little weird, and that's why labels aren't great, because you can get attached to them and then the ego comes in. And you could have started off ego-free. So for you, you've worked with the ego, you've worked with the darkness, you've done the shadow work. For you, it's been really important to find out certain aspects of who you were, bringing in those pieces of the jigsaw puzzle so you can really acclimate into your power and go, all right, now is the time. Your guides are waiting for you to step up and go, I'm ready. And you are ready because you're already doing it, but you've got the pieces of the puzzle are coming in because you were very powerful. You need to acclimate to that power in the past life so you can have security in knowing what you're saying in this life. So one more here. Result. Who are you in this lifetime? Let's get you this. It's the numerology guidance cards. I love these cards. So let's get you one of these cards right here. And follow your dreams. Absolutely. One of your dreams is, and I feel as though we should have some kind of music, maybe from the 60s here, but follow your dreams is you genuinely want people to be okay. You want people to be seen for who they are. You want people to be respected. You want equality. You want justice. You absolutely know that you want everything in this new world coming. This new world where there is a collapsing of the patriarchy and moving into a divine feminine sense of worthiness. This is who you are. you are already following your dreams. You stay with it, allow in the clicks into the power of who you were. And once they resonate with you, you know you'll be ready. There's nothing physical, more work that you need to do. The wisdom's ready to go. It's just you clicking into the power of who you are. So I hope this actually did this for you, Pile 1, clicked you into that resonating power of who you are so you can move forward because you're ready. So let's go ahead and just give you a little bit. You know, I always think these are really fun. And do let me know in the comments too if you find any other words that I usually miss 1 or 2 words, so that's not enough to create a word. All right, we've got an H, we've got a J, we have a Q. I feel like we always have Qs. We have K. Okay, we have HQ. That comes up a lot. Sorting out what needs to be done. We have N-I, M, Nin, Lil, Lim, yeah, what do we have? J, we don't have a lot of vowels, so J, well, we have a gym. We have a gym. We definitely do have a gym. We have an F, I, well, a Fim, no. Nim. H, I, we have a him. So that's again moving out of the masculine into, and again, you know, it's balancing the masculine and the feminine. This is your divine feminine lifetime coming in, but bringing in the wisdom of the masculine and the way in which you will approach it too. So balancing your divine masculine and feminine will help you in this lifetime, getting back into your intuition. And remember at the beginning, coming into your emotionality. This is not something that is necessarily, again, general reading, so this may be just for a fraction of you, a portion of you, but you know, your intense emotionality, which is where you get your empathic staging and beauty from. And staging, I mean like being out there in the world. It may not come naturally to you. You may have sort of not seen it as an entire gift, and that's fine. You may have even dumbed it down a little bit. That's because of your masculine past lives. But this lifetime is for you to really achieve that emotionality and that superpower. If you haven't seen my last, I will pop it down below. If you haven't seen my last reading just before this one came out a couple of days before, you might want to do that because a lot of those messages were coming up for this. You might want to go back if you haven't already and check that out. So do let me know. I feel as though I've missed something here. New Jersey, okay. That could be something too. We got Florida. Q, asking questions or bringing the answers. But do let me know if you see anything here, if your initials came up or whatever it is that you see. And of course, if this resonated, do let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Feel free to give me a thumbs up and do subscribe. If you have not subscribed before, we would love to have you here at Unicorn Light Tarot. And don't forget to click that bell icon so you can be notified the minute another gorgeous reading comes up. And don't forget to go below for Unicorn Light Tarot too. Sorry, we're already in Unicorn Light Tarot. Unicorn School of Light. We have several beautiful courses for you to extend the possibilities of who you are. And we have a brand new course coming out in a couple of days. So stay tuned for that. All right, my darlings, stay safe and sane. And until we meet again, Pile 1. Bye-bye. Okay, Pile 2, if you chose this beautiful blue feather, this is your reading. Don't forget that we can use these readings for activation and healing too for the candle. So go ahead and feel free to use this any way you want. Multi-dimensional healing. So, past lives, who were you? And who will you become? So we're working with the tarot for the most part today. So who were you is the first one, the first question we're going to answer here. 3 of Swords. Queen of Swords. Ah, beautiful. Let me show you these images. Absolutely gorgeous. So the first thing that I'm getting, oh, sorry, this is in the light. Oh. See if you can see this. Now we're just playing a game. Come catch me. So The first thing that I'm getting very strongly is, and there was a little bit of the divine feminine that came in pile one, but very, very different energy. So for pile two, for you, the one thing that I'm seeing is that you've seen a lot of betrayal in past lives, and working within the family unit too, building your own family. This could be through social means, through friends you consider family. You're the sort of person that once you love somebody, that's it, they're family. You'll do anything for them. It doesn't necessarily mean that a lot of people are like that in your life, that you'll do that for everyone. But once you do, that's it. They're considered family, and that is it. So the family unit is very important for you. You've come out of many generations and many lifetimes of having the family unit, but also being able to see what happens in the family unit and how that can be quite destructive. So you've seen a lot of things on the sort of domestic level, bringing that into this lifetime. Some of you also, these are general readings, so we have different things going on for different for some of you and for others. Some of you may not or have been wary about building your own family in this lifetime because of past relationships that you've had. You've seen it as a way of, I don't want to be tied down, taking your freedom, and that's because and some of that could have been mirrored in your actual personal life in this lifetime as you grew up. Things may not have been so idealistic in your family. You saw a lot of dysfunction, and it's something that you weren't real ready to get involved with yourself, which is totally fine. But again, you've built your own family as you've gone through your life. So this is your lifetime now. But the thing is, the domestic side of what all these lifetimes, now there's many different lifetimes that are melding into these lifetimes for you, where you've been the divine feminine, or you've acted for the divine feminine, and you've seen the betrayal of the divine feminine. Some of you may have been very angry at the patriarchy growing up. Maybe mistaking the understanding of the divine masculine with just the masculine, which is just, power, structure, patriarchy. And this is something that you would have had to have leaked out and really worked with. That would have been your shadow work, and very important work to do too. And also, it's worth noting, until recently, as the divine feminine is rising up, and we are seeing all sorts of justice and rising up all over the world, and we're seeing a lot of this power, this corrupt power, crumbling, and the people that support the power, we're seeing the energy behind it, which could be considered a little bit toxic, right? But this is something that's happened very recently in the lifetime. So it's really completely and totally completely understandable, no judgment, where, the divine feminine the divine masculine and the masculine were sort of roped into one for you as you were growing up. That's totally understandable. Now we can see the divine feminine sort of rising. We can also see the divine masculine, what we need to do to heal the masculine and work with the divine masculine. And we can see the real difference between the masculine and the divine masculine. That wasn't necessarily apparent before. But what you're specifically bringing in is this sort of essence of motherhood. This essence of the divine feminine. Now, I want to be really clear. That doesn't mean to say that all of you need to be mothers, or all of you need to be mothering. Absolutely not. Regardless of gender, you could be a male listening to this. And also, I want to be really clear. Women can do whatever they want. They absolutely do not have to have babies to be a woman, or however you identify. I want to be really clear on that. The mothering that you have is this maternal, nurturing sense that you had before in past lives, but it was betrayed so much that when you've had it in this lifetime, you've dumbed it down a little bit. And to a certain extent in your past, in this lifetime, people could have taken advantage of that. But there's a gloriousness to you. There's a power in people feeling so relaxed around you. Like, people literally, all their worries, everything melts away when they're around you, because they feel 150% safe around you, and you haven't even opened your mouth yet to say anything. This is an incredible gift that you have, and you get to wield it in this lifetime with power and beauty with the actual essence of the divine feminine at your back. Whereas before, the lifetimes that you had, the divine feminine was being persecuted. You did not have that before. You saw the betrayal of it. And some of that really hit home for you. Those wounds in this lifetime you would have had to have gone into, especially again, you know, the patriarchy, and really pulling that energy. That could have been a real big trigger for you. Even the Bible could have been a real big trigger for you, because it has been an agent for the patriarchy, has been used in that way. Doesn't mean that that's right, doesn't mean that the Bible needs to be used like that, and doesn't mean that the essence of the Bible is completely, you know, totalitarian and completely like, you know, patriarchal. We're not saying that, but that's what you may have equipped it with, or seen that in it, and you've wanted to stay away from it. Now, you, ironically, you may have had quite a Christian upbringing, because you know, this lifetime was really to pave the way for you to blossom and to be who you are in this lifetime. So just to push you out of that shell, you might have had that mirrored experience of having some sort of like Christian upbringing, or at least a religious, some sort of strict religious upbringing, where you and yourself are much more outside of the box, spiritual person, asking questions, always asking questions. And those questions were not liked when you were growing up. Like the religion that you would have been a part of, if this is resonating with you, this part of the reading, they would not have liked that. You're the sort of person that, you know, even again, regardless of gender, like a lot of the older religions too, especially, you know, when I was growing up, the Christianity part of it, it's, you know, they don't always revere women in the way that they could, and, you know, it was male based, but this is something that could have actually irked you from the very beginning, even if you were a man, irked you. Because your sense of thriving with the divine masculine, but really the divine masculine in this lifetime for you on your own personal journey is going to reveal the power of the divine feminine in this lifetime. So your divine masculine, the way in which it will balance is that it will protect the divine feminine as she rises within you. You did not have that in past lives. This is a very exciting part of you. You did not get to share your wisdom the way that you wanted it. You got to share it in small circles, but this is your lifetime to share it in much bigger circles. And you have this wielding sword of power, the wisdom that you brought in this lifetime, and also this no nonsense sort of no bullshit attitude of get out of my way, but not in a bad way. You know, there's a part of you that's not always been that way, but you have this intense energy and attitude, and especially when you're fighting for justice for others, nothing can stop you. And you also, you know, the esoteric information that you have specifically with working with guides, I would say, and plants and flowers, and, you know, all of that stuff that would have been seen as a little bit of a joke in past lives, maybe, or not as been revered, as much revered in certain lifetimes. They certainly were, but then, you know, the ones that the lifetimes that you came in with that really affected you the most is the lifetimes that you were betrayed by the masculine coming in. So your divine feminine gets to be blossom into the true power that she is. And you get to show your power in this lifetime. You get to show that the esoteric and the emotionality of what was not as revered as it should be, or was persecuted in other lifetimes, is actually far, far more powerful than this real sort of pragmatic, this action, this will of, you know, the will of just stamping over everybody and getting what you want, the will of power, right? So what lessons did you carry over? So, you know, we got a little bit of that, but let's get a little bit deeper. What lessons did you carry over, pile 2, except for your extreme mistrust of the patriarchy? God love you, which is totally understandable. But, you know, you've moved through that. You've done a lot of shadow work through that. So what lessons did you carry over? Let's see. 3 of Swords. You learned how to deal with betrayal. You've got 2 3 of Swords here. You've learned how to deal with betrayal. You've learned how to work through it. You've learned how to transmute it. Not only that, but you've learned how to heal, or you will learn how to heal. at a soul level, and you will teach others to do the same. Your mere presence of being able to transmute the deep, deep wounds of betrayal is something that you will be able to do and teach people just by being yourself. Remember, we said that before. People feel very confident around you, feel very safe around you, and you've not done anything yet. It's just your presence, your ability to heal. And let's be clear here, you're not just healing your past lives and your sense of betrayal. You are healing your ancestors all the way back, and they are with you absolutely 100%. You've got a lot of energy with your ancestors coming in. It's absolutely beautiful and divine. But moving through your sense of betrayal, and who created that betrayal too, forgiveness, and moving forward, so you can be when we say a solitary person, it means that you're a person beyond any of the things that could have triggered you before. A person beyond labels, a person beyond judgment, right? You're used to being judged in past lives. When you fall into judgment now, it just means that your mind is judging yourself. You're able to bring yourself back really quickly. And, you know, when you start getting judgmental about other people, whatever, it's just a reflection of how you're feeling about yourself. But you know at your core, pal, too, what it's like to feel judged, what it's like to be judged. And that's something that you want to move beyond, the sense of betrayal and the sense of judgment. So again, what lessons did you carry over? Let's do one more from here. It's interesting that you got both Three of Swords here. Trust the niggle. Okay. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So it's really, this is also about what lessons did you carry over. It's about also trusting your guides and trusting your intuition too. You have an innately insane intuition. You really do. Your connections to the guides, when you are open and honest with yourself, is so clear. Unbelievable. You are capable of having an incredibly spiritual life, an effortless life, attracting exactly the kind of abundance that you need at that time, because you can pull it to you. You understand alignment. But what it is that you need to do is learn how to trust that intuition at all times. When you're ready to trust it and bring it into your existence, so it just stays. You know, you have moments of incredible insights. And you know that you absolutely love your intuition. You absolutely know that you have great intuition, but it's almost like you keep it to the side a little bit, like you're protecting it. You know it's powerful, but you're protecting it. That's just the essence of the past life. There's no need to protect it. Bring it right in, release it, integrate it, live by your intuition all the time. That is your sense of power. There's still a part of you that still tries to control a little bit when you know alignment is better. You were meant to be an alignment person in this lifetime, not a control person in this lifetime, because you are meant to work with the divine feminine aspects of self. This is brilliant. Your guides are brilliant, and they're extremely powerful. Your guides are extremely powerful. There's nothing they can't do for you. And this you know, but you keep that power at arm's length. Bring it in. You already know that. Integrate your intuition and go get that effortless life, and teach others how to get that effortless life by just being you and accepting every part of yourself. Absolutely. And transmuting betrayal. Okay. Result. Who are you in this lifetime? This is very exciting. Who are you in this lifetime? And again, a brilliant person. We've already been through this a little bit. Let's get you a little bit more information. Who are you in this lifetime? Pile 3. What will you achieve? Drum roll, please. I just did it in my head, but I promise you there was a drum roll. 8 of Pentacles. I love that spider energy. Weaving, the trickster. You're going to bring the truth to people, but you're going to bring it in a unique way, a really creative way. The trickster energy is around you. Weaving your beauty, that gorgeous mysticism of that divine feminine that you're bringing in. And also you're going to bring in this essence of, a lot of people are afraid of spiders, and some of them are like, poisonous spiders, but even the poisonous spiders, they really do stay away from you. It's very rare that people actually get bitten by them, and that's intrinsically how people have treated you. We feel like in this lifetime too, you hold a lot of power, and you can feel that power within you, and people feel that, but they're a little bit afraid of you too. Now, integrating all of that power, and some of that you may have liked, and some of that, people may have left you alone a little bit. So there was a reason not to integrate some of that power before, because you got left alone. And again, no judgment. That's totally fine. That worked for you now. It worked for you then. But who you will become is that integration of that beautiful mystique, of that weaving, of the gorgeousness of who you are, of standing of who you are, with the intuition and the transmuting all of that betrayal, and all of what you never believed in anyway. You were betrayed by something you didn't believe in anyway. So it's all about bringing it to fruition and really teaching and standing for your own personal truth. And this is about you being the trickster too, the way in which you bring this information to people, the way in which you are, a little bit quirky. People might think that you sort of act or a little bit outside of the box. That's totally fine. But really embracing that in this lifetime, you already have an aspect of that personality. You should already know that about yourself, but really embracing that trickster part of yourself. You're here to shake things up. You're here to do things in your own way by weaving your own beautiful web without worrying or caring what anybody thinks of you. You're here to achieve pure freedom in this lifetime. And you've already worked on your past lives and worked through the past of that betrayal. But you're here to do that. It's beautiful stuff. It really is. The result. Who are you in this lifetime? We've already given you a really good idea of that. But let's just pick one more here. Happy ending. See, you really are here to get that freedom, to be free, to do this on your own terms without anybody saying anything. I feel as though, you have this quirky, beautiful sense of self, but I feel like there's always been a critical aspect of yourself, because there's a part of you that maybe wanted to fit in just because you didn't want to stand out, but you were never going to. I feel as though you may have attracted critical partners, either romantic or even some friendships. I don't feel as though any of that energy is around you anymore. But this really is about rising above all of it, all of that betrayal, all of that bullshit, bringing in the possibility of absolute freedom, working in absolute complete unison with your gorgeous intuition, outside of the box, trickster energy, weaving your mysticism, apologizing for nothing. I mean, if you really fuck up, to use French here. Sorry about my French. If you really do fuck up, you're going to go back and be responsible for your own energy. You've always done that. Even when you didn't realize that you had messed up, you always sort of over-apologized. So this is your freedom. This is your cry for freedom. This is you. This is doing this on your own terms, with your guides and your ancestors at your sides, behind you, with this beautiful intuition, this clear divide of what doesn't work and what does work, and just going for the light and having that joyful life. Absolutely gorgeous. Let's bring in here and see what we have here. A little bit of extra information, maybe some initials. Let's see if we can get some words for you. We've got an A. We always have a Q. I don't know why I think there's just a lot of Q's in this. So we have an AM. Maybe you're an AM person. And ham. Okay. You could... grounding energy. Maybe you're a vegan, and this is, all sorts of different things here. QUA. Key, right. So maybe you want to live in Dublin. The key. That's great. Travel could be there. There's nothing there that doesn't say go be you. When the borders lift, go to Dublin. Let's see. AMU. I feel like I'm missing AJ. We have, is this an X? Okay, sorry, I just wanted to make sure the computer was still on, because I ain't done yet. All right. I really want to spell jazz because I feel like there's music stuff in here. Okay, I do love the X too. Marks the X, ready to go. This is all you. I kind of love that too. But let's see. Yeah. L-A. No, I'm sorry, that's a J. False alarm. Yeah, there's literally a J. Could be you. So yeah, let me know in the comments if your initials were in there, or if you caught, I wouldn't be surprised if you did, if you caught another word in there, anything that's more specific to you. This portion is really very much just specifically for you to make it a little bit more personal. And I hope we activated or supported you and this resonated with you today. And if it did, do let me know in the comments. I love hearing from you. And of course, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and do subscribe too. Hit that bell icon if you have not subscribed already. Become part of the unicorn movement here. And of course, we have the Unicorn School of Light. You can always work with our energy. We have a free course right now, Beyond Fear. We also have another beautiful course coming out at the end of this week, Intuition and the Oracle, where we'll be working with our intuition. 5-day course, only $22, and it will be a video course set up like this. I expect it to be very successful and really, really, really fun. I loved bringing this information to you, so I'm really excited to open that up on Friday. And there's other courses too. So the link for the Unicorn School of Light will be down below. So go ahead and check it out if you feel cool too. All right, my darlings, you take care, Pile 2, and until we meet again, bye-bye. Okay, Pile 3, if you chose this beautiful, I'd say red and yellow feather, this is your reading. Don't forget that we have the healing candle. Use it for activation, letting go of what you no longer need, and attracting abundance, whatever it is that you want. And we also have a little extra help at the end of these sessions. We're going to go ahead and use these and see if we can get you some initials or some extra personal messages. All right, so we are going in and finding out who you were in a past life using the tarot today. Okay, so got the Fool reversed. I don't know if you can see it with the light. These are beautiful cards. And then you have the Emperor reversed. So the first thing that I'm seeing, Pile 1, and we all have several different lives and past lives, and the ones that we're bringing up, either an amalgam of past lives because it's a memory or something that you're working on specifically, or one specific past life. But for you, there seems to be sort of many different lives in your past where you weren't allowed to be yourself. And we want to be really clear about the word allowed. You just didn't have the freedom to be who you wanted to be. There was either pressure on you to be someone to step up in a completely different way, or to go against who it was that you believed in. Maybe there was a sense of family responsibility that could be mirrored in this lifetime now. But there was sort of these expectations in many different past lives, trying to get an essence like more specific about the sort of things that would have happened. But really there's just this overwhelming kind of need for a new beginning in this lifetime, to be able to do things on your own terms. It's also something that the way in which you sort of have to find your power. You're very, very powerful, but it's almost like you have to work through it. Like it's in the mires. You have to get in there to find out where it is. It's almost like you protect your power in this lifetime, because in many different lifetimes you were very powerful, but people either manipulated that power and used it to their own ends, but you weren't free in those past lives to wield it the way that you wanted to. Or you saw people use your connections or whatever it is that you had in past lives, sort of against your well-wishing. You had sort of a naive kind of heart, insofar as like you may have had a lot of power in a lot of your past lives. You know, a lot of your past lives, there's definitely this essence of power and how it's been misused. And it's been taken from you and misused. It's not like you've had the real chance to step into your own power and wield it and utilize it in the way that you've wanted to. So this in your new life here, is the understanding of what it's like to sort of be running from your own life, almost like you're looking over your own shoulder. It's not like you're in danger in any way. And in past lives, it wasn't like you were necessarily in danger. It was more straight up sort of manipulation of your own power. But it's just this idea that you're always looking over your shoulder to see who's watching. And there's a little bit of nervousness about, again, always being yourself, because if you show your power, you associate showing your power with people coming in and taking it and manipulating it. Now, in this lifetime, there may have been some mirroring of that in effect. For a specific example, when you show how powerful you are, people either automatically try to manipulate that power right out from under you, or they just full on just told you that you were evil, or that, you know, they reacted to your power quite violently one way or another without really taking on what you were saying. It's just the energy of it intimidated them, and they acted really specifically and negatively toward it. So there's a part of you that's never really had the freedom per se to have your profound power and freedom to be who you are in this lifetime. And because of that, you may have always, not just looking over your shoulder, more specific to that, you may have had this really weird dichotomy in your life where you don't care what other people think of you, but you also bear in mind what other people think of you. But really in your heart, core of heart, you don't give a shite. You don't at all. But at the same time, you are bothered by it. And this is because, you know, in past lives, your opinion probably was just dumbed down because they were manipulating your power. Maybe in some of those lives, they might have made you out to be a little cuckoo so they could, you know, get to the throne or whatever it was, get to your power. So, you know, but at the end of the day, you always knew who you were. So in this lifetime, it could be a little bit difficult because you always know who you were, but you're used to being treated a certain way. So when you enlist your power in this lifetime, it's almost like you're looking around going, yep, anyone, and you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're waiting for the repercussion. You're waiting for somebody to react to you. You're waiting for to be manipulated. Or the other thing is that people purposely didn't get you. You know, and so you would say, that's another thing, you know, in past lives too. You would say something brilliant and they would go, that's foo-foo. What is this person talking about? And then they would pass off all of that as their own. That's another thing that's happened to you too. You weren't able to claim your brilliance. You weren't free to be brilliant and be seen for who you were and acknowledged for who you were, and taking it one step further, celebrated for exactly who you were. So there's a lot of different dichotomies that were going on in this lifetime because of that. And this weird sort of like bearing in mind what other people thinking of you, but really at your core, not caring at all what people really care, you know, about you, could have been quite confusing to you, because people who care genuinely care, but there's a part of you that didn't, but yet you're acting like you do. And you kind of do. And it was all very confusing for you. In many ways, when you broke it down, it didn't make sense. So if that is, you know, these are general readings, but if this is something, an aspect of your personality that always bothered you, or you didn't quite get because it didn't really fit, you either care what people think of you or you don't, then hopefully this clicked into place and then you've got that. So let's see, what lessons did you carry over? So being yourself and having ultimate freedom in this lifetime without the manipulation would be nice, right? So what lessons for pile 3 did they carry over into this lifetime specifically? What lessons did they carry over? So we've got 2 here. Both of them wanted to come, so let's do that. So the Magician is reversed and the 7 of Wands. So what lessons did you carry over? It's your need to fight for your own power. Okay, so this is what we have here. So What lessons did you carry over? This understanding that you have to fight to be heard, that you have to fight to have your freedom, okay? That you have to fight to be seen. A lot of you in Pile 3, again, general reading, but a lot of you maybe didn't want to be seen. And if you are seen, you're seen in certain sort of realms or certain groups where you know that you're safe. And I think, I feel as though for a lot of you, you may have felt as if you were unsafe because, people being at you for so many past lives, it's an essence that you brought in with you, right? It's part of the karma. It's part of, who you are, the message which you're getting out. You're leaving. You're refuting it. You're releasing all of it. You're done with it. You don't want to be worried about any of that anymore. People treating you like that. But it's almost like your soul got used to being treated like that. And then in this lifetime, it's just you didn't really want to be seen because there was always so much drama that went around being seen. Would somebody attack me, not physically in this lifetime, but, hopefully not. This is all past stuff now, even though in this lifetime. But somebody attack me verbally. Will somebody completely misunderstand me and take it, really personally? And then I've got to spend the day trying to figure that out or be affected by that. Or the, straight out power. Some of you may have been bullied in school. Straight out power going for you, just sensing a part of who you were and that energy that you carried with you. So, showing yourself, showing your power in this lifetime could have, in your mind's eye, could have caused you a little bit more grief than you just wanted to, really, at the end of just to have an easy day, just dumb it down. And when it feels safe in certain groups, yeah, let's get out there and show it. I know I'm powerful. I know I've got this, but I don't want to fight anymore. And every time I show my power, there's some kind of fight. And honestly, I didn't instigate it. My power is instigating it. Well, here's the thing. That karma you've been working on one way or another, whether you've been working on it directly or not. So in this lifetime, the lesson that you carry is by being yourself fully in this lifetime, you actually stop the drama. You actually stop people trying to manipulate you because you've had those mirror existences from sort of birth upwards, from school age upwards, one way or another. I'm not saying that your life has been absolutely massively horrible or anything like that. You've had some great people, some amazing people that you've attracted into this lifetime that were with you in other lifetimes that saw what went on, but were not part of the bullshit part of it, So you've always had good people around you, people that you can trust. But there's also been, sorry to be frank, but a lot of a bullshit element to what you've had to put up with too. And a lot of it feels like you've just walked into it and, you've walked into like dog poo-poo and then you've got to figure it out. And there's nothing much that you've done. Just by being powerful, you've had this energy around you. So, yes, you've dumbed yourself down. You've found many different ways to be powerful in certain existences, but not full out powerful, so you have to deal with this crap anymore. But your life lesson is for pure freedom in this life, and you are to transmute all of these past lives now because they're coming up so they can be released completely in this lifetime. Pure freedom, we're going to turn this around, so this is right way up. Pure freedom is about accepting your magic and your power, going right into it, 2 feet in, without apology, and saying, I don't give a shit. I really don't, and I'm not fighting anymore. I'm not doing any of this. I'm not taking on any of this energy. If you don't accept me, F off. And that's just a little bit of real talk there for you, Pile 3. But that's what it is. And there's an element of you, I feel, in certain existences and certain things in this lifetime, you have done that. But I feel as though you've also had to be pushed to the edge before you say, I'm done, get out. And before then, you've had the manipulation. You've dealt with all of that. And there's a part of you, again, that really wants everybody to be okay, and you want everybody to have their own say. You believe that everybody should have their own say, and I do too. I absolutely do. But it's okay to say that some people are just kind of saying stupid stuff, and it's okay for you to say, I respect that you have that opinion, but that opinion doesn't apply to me. I'm done. So boundaries for you have been massive in this lifetime. You've gone backwards and forwards, figuring out the boundaries, and it's been a little confusing because, the boundary issue has been like, I do care what this person thinks, but at the same time, I don't care what is going on. 2 feet into your freedom, into your power. grab it with 2 hands, 2 feet, gloriousness, pull it right back into your body, grounding without having to explain yourself, just having that energy of having your freedom and your power all in one space, in your heart space, and accepting nothing less, literally dissipates all of the other past lives where you've had to deal with this. Now, you've been working intrinsically on this one way or another all the way through your life, through shadow work or whatever, whether you realize you were specifically working on these things or aspects of it. You were working on it at a deep core level. Because some of the things that were done and some of the power that was taken from you in past life was really bad. I mean, it wasn't great, it really wasn't great. You were powerful, things happened, kingdoms fell, it was dramatic. There's a reason why you're a little bit nervous to step up fully into your power in this lifetime. There is a legit reason why. Because when you've done that before, kingdoms fell, right? And people could have blamed you. Now, a lot of that really wasn't you. You have this beautiful sort of childlike energy, which is another thing that you've protected in this lifetime and dumbed down big time. That's another thing that needs to come back when you go right back into your freedom and your power, and you bring that back without compromise. Get that inner child that you've been working on. Integrate that beautiful inner child. They will love it all the way through your body all the time. And don't just bring them out when you feel safe or when you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. They have been bruised and beaten in this particular lifetime too. And you're aware of that. But you've been working with them, and that's wonderful. But a full integration of full-time, 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, right into your newfound freedom, completely without compromise. And you got a brand new you going on, and let all the haters go. Nobody cares. You'll actually won't even notice them anymore because they would have moved on, because they're getting nothing from you anymore. So, result, who are you in this lifetime? Who are you in this lifetime? We're going to do this. Who are you in this lifetime? So we've already told you, not tell you, I don't like telling anybody anything. We've already unleashed the freedom and the beauty of which you are. But the result, who are you in this lifetime? Okay, wait, no, postpone, pause, say no. Let's see what this is about. I believe I'm getting told that it's about stop waiting, the age of light. You've been trained for this for lifetimes. So yeah, that's when I first saw that, I was like, this is not the time to wait. This is definitely the time to step in to your power. Let's be clear, you've been working very, very diligently one way or another, even though it may have felt like 6 steps forward, 5 steps backwards with this, with specifically past lives, but with healing in general. Going into the deep aspects of soul, working with, magical essence of who you are, going into the dark night of the soul, going into the shadow self, doing the inner child work. You've done all of that now. This is really about you reclaiming yourself. Celebrate, have a ritual, rename yourself, whatever you want to do. This is big. No time to wait. And don't forget, this is the time for you to do this. This is the time to transmute all of this. Be who you are. The world needs your power now. You're not here to be manipulated anymore. That's not the version of events that's going to happen in this lifetime. That's not your destiny. Those destinies, we're teaching you how to wield your power and how other people wield their power. You've learned those lessons. Once you integrate them fully, and the way in which you activate that pure final healing is by stepping fully 150% into your newfound freedom and into who you are without compromise. So what are we doing here? I wanted to do one more card for the tarot and the oracle. So what else do you want to know, Pile 3? This is wonderful. This is a huge celebration. Yeah, this is a brand new you, but based on all of the old yous, which has so much power and so much triumph. Domestic harmony, absolutely. Anything else, everything is going to come into harmony after this. Everything, whatever it is that you've wanted. Some of the things that you've put off too, going for that success that you've really wanted, and for general readings resonate with this. If you're going for that love, whatever it is that because you've always been holding a little part of yourself back. So everything can come to you now. Every aspect of your life will be improved. Your love life, your success, career, everything that you want will be next level timeline, because you are exactly who you are. Absolutely who you are. Domestic harmony. And that goes again with every aspect of every single aspect of your life. Aspect. How many times can I say that? Probably 3 more times. So that is letting you know that you cannot go wrong with this. 2 steps in, absolutely do it. You're ready. There's no more work to be done. No more work to be done. If the message that we keep getting in pile 1, 2, and 3, the time is now. Do it, do it, do it. You've been doing this for several lifetimes. You know how to do this. You also know what it feels like to be manipulated. So you're great with other people. You're wonderful with people who have been through that too. You have so much compassion, so much empathy, so much beauty. Wield that in with your profound power and freedom, and you've got this life licked. That's weird. Lick whatever you want. You know what I mean. So let's do this. Let's see if there's any other words to spell out for you. The L came out real quick. We did just say lick, so I don't have anything to do with it. Maybe some initials. Let's see what we have. Oh, wow. A lot of them came out this time. So there's always a Q. There's 2 Qs. There's 3 Qs. I feel like this set just has a lot of Qs. Q, Q, Q. No more questions. Just answers. Any. We've got the word any. We've got A and E. It used to be a great little TV channel when I watched TV. We've got and. We've got S. And an L. That was the first thing that came out. And an A. We've got lass. A and E. I know there's so many different... okay, let's see. I feel like... Len or lens. New lens. Create your new lens here. I don't know if you can see. Create your new lens and see things differently. New shift in perception. AA, for those of you who have come out of addiction, this is another thing that you, for those of you who have had addiction in this lifetime, which is, sorry, I just had to make sure the computer was on. It's my arm there. For those of you who have had addictions in this lifetime, which is totally fine. It's not easy trying to dumb down your power. This is another thing that's going to be completely healed as you come out and moving up into the next layer. You just won't need it anymore. So that's wonderful. Let's see. Got a lot of A's. A. I feel like that stands for something too. So there's a lot of different things going on here, and 3 Q's. I kind of love that too. So do let me know in the comments if you NS. No shit, no more bullshit. There you go. Whatever you see. Do let me know if you saw any other words, your initials, whatever you had, any personal comments that you don't mind sharing that you see that I didn't bring up here. Do let me know in the comments below. And do let me know if this resonated. I do love to hear from you guys. Feel free to give me a thumbs up. And of course, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Feel free to do that. And hit that bell icon too, so you never miss out on a beautiful, beautiful reading. And of course, we have the Unicorn School of Light. Details below. We have wonderful stuff going on in the Unicorn School of Light. We truly do. We have a free course right now, Beyond Fear and Getting Yourself Back into That Freedom. We also have a beautiful course, of course, for the Intuition and Oracle, a 5-day course, video course, sort of set up like this, getting back in touch with your intuition. That's coming out in a couple of days. Very exciting. And if you want to integrate your inner child, totally full, completely full, and have some fun, we have our 21-day Unicorn Abundance course, which is down below. It's really fun. People love that. So if you need any extra support, right down below, we got your back, pile 3. All right, I hope you go right in there, you celebrate you, and you get into that 100% you without looking back over your shoulder. You absolutely deserve this, and go get your life, pile 3. Until we meet again, you stay safe and sane. Bye-bye.